Underground Reggie.
DJ Rico Banks.
What it do is happening? This is homie DJ Rico Banks. You're live here on Z101.6, powered by IMN Media, for another episode of Underground Reggie. And today we're gonna get into some of the news stories that we see happening out here in the world. So, as of today, 6 Dr. Seuss books will no longer be published, and this after some insensitive comments and imagery, really start facing a lot of backlash.
6 Dr. Seuss books will no longer be published because of what's described as racist and insensitive imagery.
Today is Dr. Seuss's birthday, but rather than celebrate, some of his iconic children's books are quite literally being canceled. Now, for over 20 years, the iconic author's birthday is celebrated in schools as Read Across America Day. President Biden marking the occasion yesterday with a presidential proclamation, but did not mention Dr. Seuss by name amid growing criticism. But the author was celebrated by former President Obama, who read Green Eggs and Ham to children during the 2010 White House Easter egg roll. That same year, former First Lady Michelle Obama read The Cat in the Hat to a group of children as well. Now, anger over Dr. Seuss's drawings has grown over the years. A 2019 St. Catherine University study found 2% of Dr. Seuss's human drawings are characters of color, and they are typically presented in a subservient or dehumanized role. Now, The Cat in the Hat has also faced backlash over accusations it's based on minstrel stereotypes.
According to reports, Dr. Seuss Enterprises announced on Tuesday, March the 2nd, that it would stop publishing 6 Dr. Seuss books because of racist and insensitive imagery included in them. A statement released to the Associated Press reads, "These books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong. Ceasing sales of these books is only part of our commitment and our broader plan to ensure Dr. Seuss Enterprises catalog represents and supports all communities and families. The books include And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street, If I Ran the Zoo, On Beyond Zebra, Scrabbled Egg Super, and The Cat's Quizzer. And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street featured a racist caricature of an Asian person who is portrayed wearing a conical hat, holding chopsticks and eating from a bowl. And If I Ran the Zoo, 2 barefooted African men were featured wearing grass skirts and their hair tied atop to their head. The Cat in the Hat, arguably one of Dr. Seuss' most popular books, has also been criticized, but it will continue to be published for now. Dr. Seuss Enterprises added that it is committed to listening and learning and will continue to review our entire portfolio. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. A whole childhood ruined for a lot of different people, but for the right reasons. You can't be making all type of comments and be saying these different type of things, especially in this society that we live in today.
Underground Reggie.
This episode of Underground Reggie is brought to you by the IMN.com. Music, sports, and entertainment news from IMN Media. Follow the IMN on Instagram at imn.media. Alright, we're back here with more on Underground Reggie, powered by IMN Media and Z101.6. So we're talking sports right now. Last night was a good night for, basketball fans and basketball teams around the league. So, a couple close contests and a couple contests that really weren't that close. So, we had 3 games that all scored over 100 points. We had the Nuggets beating the Bulls 118-112 with Nikola Jokic scoring 39 points and coming up with 14 rebounds. Then you had Zach LaVine for the Bulls putting up another 23. Then you had the Dallas Mavericks. They came through with a win last night at 130-124 over the home team Orlando Magic. The leading scorer for the Magic put up 29 and 15 with Luka Doncic putting up another 33, 10 and 9. So the Mavericks, they're doing pretty good right now. They off to a winning record right now, coming in at 17-16 with a good 9-8 record on the road. Then you had the Sixers and the Indiana Pacers coming in with another close game, with Philadelphia actually winning 130-114. So the Sixers are looking good. They only lost 12 games so far in the season. However, the Pacers, they are looking kind of like they might not be doing too well. They're 15-18 right now, but the season could turn around. All-Star break is right around the corner. So we had a couple more close games. You had the Pelicans beating the Jazz at 129-124. The Brooklyn Nets coming in over the San Antonio Spurs at 124-113. And then you had pretty much the game of the night, the Battle of the Mellows with the Portland Trail Blazers coming out on top of the Charlotte Hornets at 123 and 111. So you had the Battle of the Mellows, you had LaMelo Ball, finishing for the Charlotte Hornets with 30 points. But then you had Carmelo Anthony coming off a 29-point game for the Portland Trail Blazers. So, it was a good game. It was a fun game. It was something nice to watch. So, with the All-Star game right around the corner, it was some exciting basketball and some exciting sports.
Underground Reggie.
Alright, we're back here with more news. In another story, a Nike vice president resigned after her son used her credit card to buy over $132,000 in shoes to flip.
Joe Hebert is a well-known infamous reseller, and he gave an in-depth interview to Bloomberg Business about what it's like working in the resale market. The 19-year-old is known as West Coast Joe, and he's built up a solid reputation for himself as always having access to highly sought-after shoes like Nikes, Yeezys, the list goes on and on. He revealed that in May he did $600,000 in sales, solidifying his status as a top-tier seller. But how did this 19-year-old start such a booming business? Well, according to some people on Twitter, his mom might have had something to do with it. While Bloomberg Business was putting together this article about Joe, he called the interviewer, and the caller ID listed Ann, the vice president and general manager for Nike North America, and Joe's mom. She'd been working for Nike for 25 years, and Joe admitted that she was his mother, but insisted she had nothing to do with the success of his business or his ability to get his hands on highly sought-after sneakers.
So basically, according to reports, this president, Ann Herbert, she was the vice president and general manager of Nike's North American business. She resigned after news was reported that her 19-year-old son took one of her credit cards and basically spent over like $132,000 and bought Nike shoes. But the reason for buying these shoes is actually to sell them and turn them for another profit. So, Ann decided to step down from her position on Monday, March 1st, after the piece was published in Bloomberg and the reporting the scrutiny that was placed on her. So, Nike forbids its employees for participating in reselling. So, a Nike spokesperson, they also added that Ann had disclosed information about her son's business in 2018, and the spokesperson said that she actually hadn't violated any company policy. They also said that there was no violation of company policy, privileged information, or conflicts of interest, nor is there any commercial affiliation between WCS LLC and Nike, including the direct buying or selling of the Nike products. But it's kind of crazy because the story came out and it kind of just threw a dark cloud over what she was doing over there at the company. So it was probably the right move to go ahead and step down. So in more news, Will Smith came out recently and he revealed that he actually has plans to run for a political office.
I think for now I'm gonna let that office get cleaned up a little bit, and then I'll
get the deep clean and the vaccinations.
Yeah, and then I'll consider that at some point down the line. I don't know. It's like I absolutely have an opinion. I'm optimistic. I'm hopeful. I believe in understanding between people. I believe in the possibility of harmony. So I will certainly do my part, whether it remain artistic or at some point ventures into the political arena.
So that's more so an interesting thing, because what Smith was basically saying is he was saying that he thinks for now he'll let the office get cleaned up a little bit, and then he'll consider at some point down the road if he was actually gonna like run for office or something like that. But he's actually talking about getting out on the campaign trail in the near future and actually possibly holding a position. So that'll be something interesting to see if he actually gets into that, if he actually can do it, and actually if there's something that he wants to do. So Will Smith is a man of many has different trades. He's an overall entertainer. He does everything from singing, rapping, and acting. And if he could do one thing, is that he can captivate our audience and keep the audience's attention. So politics might not be such a bad thing for him. But we're gonna get ready to close everything out. So make sure you follow me at Rico Fantasy. Follow Z101.6 at Z101 Dallas. IMN Media at official IMN. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you stay updated. And yeah, we out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Underground Reggie. I'm your host, Rico Banks. Make sure you follow the IMN on Instagram at IMN.media. We'll be back for another episode soon. Stay tuned.